Welcome back to the Truth Factory. There's some interesting news today about the Awan brothers. The Daily Caller reports that the FBI sees smashed hard drives from the Wasserman Schultz IT aide's home. Pakistani-born Imran Awan, so yeah, he's Muslim, therefore the narrative is if you investigate him, you are Islamophobic somehow. Imran was the IT aide to Debbie Wasserman Schultz. She's such an unattractive person on the inside and the out. Of course, she was the former Democratic National Committee chairwoman. Imran has now since desperately tried to get these hard drives back, but it is not happening. The FBI are now involved in a criminal probe into serious, potentially illegal violations on the House IT networks by Imran and 3 of his relatives who had access to emails and files of more than 24 House Democrats who had employed them on a part-time basis. Now, if MSNBC and CNN are not reporting this, then they need their press passes revoked, because if Donald Trump and the Republicans had hired foreign nationals to be their top IT guys and somehow their congressional files had been compromised, this would not only be all over the news right now, they would be drawn and quartered in a medieval execution. And just so you know the caliber of the type of person that Imran Awan is, people describe him as a charming, dishonest manipulator with an unquenchable thirst for money. That sounds nice. So undoubtedly a complete sociopath, and I bet DWS found him somewhere on the dark web. Imran Awan has such a penchant for taking advantage of people that his own father changed his last name so he wouldn't have to share it with his son. Ouch. And when their father died, their stepmother fled, and the brothers threatened to have her relatives in Pakistan kidnapped if she didn't cooperate with their financial scheme. Yikes. If that wasn't bad enough, these brothers are also linked to a sketchy car dealership that had a loan of $100,000 from an Iraqi politician who is wanted by the U.S. authorities and has been linked to Hezbollah, you know, the Iranian-backed Middle Eastern terrorist outfit. So yeah, that is who Debbie Wasserman Schultz hired. I wonder who his references were. Osama bin Laden? And soon after Imran began working with Wasserman Schultz in 2005, his 2 brothers and their 2 wives and his best friend, who had just been fired from McDonald's, all began appearing as IT staffers on the payroll of other House Democrats. Collectively, the Awan brothers have been paid over $4 million since 2009. That's a lot of money for IT, especially when your previous qualifications were being fired from frickin' McDonald's. Now, the timeline that I can trace is that the Awan brothers' access to the congressional IT systems were terminated February 2nd as a result of the investigation. This is where the Awans were accused of stealing equipment from members' offices without their knowledge and committing serious, potentially illegal violations on the House IT network. Like, they had huge information. Not only did they have Debbie Wasserman Schultz's password, but many of the Democrats who employed the Awans are members of the House Committee on Homeland Security, the Committee on Foreign Affairs, and the Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence. So when shit hits the fan, they move out of their rental place abruptly. And many believe that their wives fled back to Pakistan, and they leave their hard drives and routers in this rental property like idiots. And if they're fleeing that fast, that means that they are in big trouble. Luckily, a Marine Corps veteran and his wife, a Navy officer, move into this rental property. They see all the hard drives, they see all this shit, and they say, okay, something's up. They call the Naval Criminal Investigative Service. The FBI comes and takes the equipment. Now, this former Marine said that Imran wanted his hard drives back so desperately that he threatened to sue the renter for stealing them. Apparently, Imran went back to the house for items 3 to 4 times, but the Marine wouldn't let him enter. And we all know that Debbie Wasserman Schultz has demanded the return of a laptop seized by the Capitol Police because it was purportedly used by Imran and was found in a hidden vacant office. And then we have that famous soundbite where she threatens the police officer with consequences if the laptop isn't returned.
There would be consequences.
Now, on Thursday, it was reported that the police have not examined its contents because of the invocation of the Constitution's speech and debate clause, and after months of refusal, her lawyer is finally now negotiating access to the data on the yet-to-be-determined terms, which makes me suspicious of, after all this time, why are they releasing the data now, and what would that mean? Because there is a reason why members of Congress have displayed an inexplicable and intense loyalty towards the subjects who the police say victimize them. It is extremely obvious that the Awan brothers are blackmailing them based on the contents of their emails and files to which they had full access. And it's probably something big, like cheese pizza, organ harvesting, 10 terabytes of Bill Clinton's emails about Jerry Epstein's island and a furry tentacle hentai fetish big. And this is one of the reasons why the DNC didn't want their servers investigated after they cried Russia, because not only was it not hacked, there was tons of incriminating evidence on there like this. These pricks should be 1000% in handcuffs right now, and there's no good explanation for why they aren't, except for that the whole system is a giant puddle of shit. I want to know what is on the Awan brothers' hard drives and their laptops. Like, come on, you know it is something good. And you know for a fact these guys are sloppy, otherwise they wouldn't be shitting their pants right now. I mean, one of them wasn't even good enough to work at McDonald's, so that should tell you something. If they are this scared, that probably means they did not do a good job of encrypting their data, because they are careless sociopaths with delusions of grandeur, and you always get sloppy when you get an ego that big. And you might be wondering why the Awan brothers even kept that evidence around at all, rather than putting it through an industrial shredder. Well, that data that was incriminating them was also what was keeping them safe. It was their leverage in blackmailing everyone to keep them out of Guantanamo Bay. So this means if the Awan brothers go down for that data, so does everyone else that is connected into this entire web of organ harvesting, Pizzagate, whatever else could potentially be on that data. Like, this is crazy. Comment down below what you think they're really hiding on there. Alright, thank you guys. Of course, a link to my Twitter and to my Patreon below. Thank you guys so much for supporting me. And a special thanks to the new super duper friend of the show, Ken Stahl. Thank you guys so much. Have a great night.